Hello everybody and welcome to my video writing a personal experience and tips. I did not have that written down. I had to look over on the screen. I apologize for that. Today we're going to talk about some writing topics, some in and out information, some personal experiences, a little bit, just a little pointers. For those of you that are new to writing, this might be beneficial. For those who are seasoned, you probably don't need this advice at all. So you're good to go. You're good to go. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what I think writing is. As you can see, I have it as writing is a conversation with waves of emotions. You're probably like, what is that? What is the waves of emotions? Well, it is. When you're writing, you're actually having a conversation with the readers through your characters. So you're discussing topics like details and events and timelines and motives, and you're kind of bringing out the characteristics of all the world you're creating, right? Then I determine it as an expression of self, because a piece of you is in every character you create. So you might have that one character that you model off of yourself. Or, for instance, I have multiple characters that I have a piece of me in each. Or characters that you wish to be, as far as their strength or their vulnerability or, just their personality-wise. So that is what I mean by conversations. That is a conversation with waves of emotions. It's like roller coaster ride, because that's how every story should be, right? When you're writing, the reader should feel every emotion. They should be angry, they should be sad, they should be excited, and they should feel your characters. They should have a what is the word? I'm thinking, hold on, don't rush me. I'm thinking. Your characters should be relatable, is what I'm saying, right? So that's how I personally define writing, not what like the dictionary says writing is. So the next one we'll go to is, this is a good one. So why writing should be a passion. Without passion, your writing becomes a job. We don't want that. Most of us already have a full-time job or a part-time job or just the job of being a parent or stuff like that. Why do we want to have our one thing that we cling to, our passion, our hobbies, or this is our career, to be another weight on our shoulder, right? A job that becomes unenjoyable with pressures and schedules. Look, I personally, I don't do schedules. I don't do timelines. I don't do deadlines. I don't do any of that. I work on my own mountain here. My own line. My line's a little bit wavy, but we get there. So when passion becomes lost, so does our authenticity and our style. And this might sound like, it's harsh, or I'm being judgy, or this is just a very, very deep-rooted, icky opinion. But when your authenticity, and your style kind of goes out the door, that means you're putting out crap work for what I love to call the black hole, known as writing to market. Oh, it's so scary. Ooh. But we're going to explain more on that here in a minute. You don't really want that, but please, for the love of God, do not lose your passion, because it really is going to show in your writing that you're just like, I'm just spitting out another novel or a novella or whatever, how length you want it to be. And it's just not going to be, it's just going to be basically. It's gonna be poop. It's gonna be poop on pages. That's what it is. So next, writing to market is writing a book that fits the tropes of the current trends that are hot in the market. So there are pros and there are cons to writing to market. I don't have many of them listed, but if you want more information on that, Google is your friend. So some pros is that you'll have a target. It ensures that you have a target market, because guess what? You're writing to the hottest thing that people are into. The readers are craving. They're craving this hottest thing. Just like any trend in this day and age, they're like glued to it, right? And that means you'll stay relevant. Your writing stays relevant because you're grasping at what you're grasping at, that lovely, lovely big lollipop, or that next fashion. However you want to compare it to. But there are also cons to this. With the good comes the ugly. So you won't always have guaranteed sales because the market becomes saturated. And then when saturation comes into play, that means your story is going to get lost. That's the bottom line. It's going to get lost out there. Readers are going to start getting tired of this trend. And by the time you put yours out there, it's like, oh, you hit the end of it. And then now it's like, ugh, I don't want to read another one of these tropes. And it's like the same thing over and over again. We don't want that at all. And sorry, now the sun is starting to come out, but you can still see me. There's also, you don't really want to be called this because it kind of hurts your feelings, but you're going to be you're selling out. You're a sellout because you're not true to your nature. You're just trying to write to market to make the buck without actually having material that really matters. That's basically what it comes down to. It's a sad reality, but that's what it is. Some can be successful in it, others not so much. So next, let's see what I got next. Style. Find your style. Don't find somebody else's style. Find your style. Your style that hits. So style is basically your tone, just like a singer has with different vocal levels. What is your message? How detailed do you want it to be? I like to write short and sweet because I like to get to the point, because I don't believe readers are stupid. I believe readers can fill in the blanks. So I leave it up to their imagination exactly what goes on, but I don't leave the crucial details out. It's stuff like that you want to add to your style, and your style will progress as you get further into writing more and more material. Also, what is the message you want to leave at the end of each story? What is the message to the readers? Also, style includes POV. Your first, your second, your third, and your third limited. Stuff like that. But limited, I don't really do as much. I really do love writing a first person. I do love writing a third person. I like the current project that I'm working on. I am doing multiple characters in different places. It can be exhausting, but you just got to figure out what your best way of writing is, and what your favorite POV is, and what you feel like you're best at. But don't ever be scared to just jump to another thing. Don't ever limit yourself to that. Ever. So an example of a first person is this. It is said that our lives are already mapped out before we enter this world. Oh, how I wish my life would have been designed without the color red. So this is a first person. This is from my very, very, very first book I ever written. And she is talking to somebody very dear to her in this book. And It's kind of like written in a confessional style, but I think you get the gist of how first person is. You're actually in the mind of the character, and you're speaking for them, through them, like you're walking in their shoes, basically. And the next one is third person. No woman has ever become a warrior for the high guard, and Nara was determined to prove a female can pull her weight, just like her male counterparts. So this is a third person perspective, if you don't really already know that. It's not hard to figure out, to be honest. That's pretty much the first thing you probably should know before you ever write, is what perspective you're going to write in, of course. And this is from my last book. It was a fantasy book, and Nara is the main character, but she's not alone in her journey, basically. And that's all my examples for that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, we move on before I start getting weird. I'm going to have a sip of my smoothie. So along your journey in writing, you're going to get a lot of advice. You're going to get advice all the way up to here, and then you're going to start getting annoyed, and you're going to get annoyed with people for telling you, oh, you should do it this way or do it that way. Oh, you should do more. You got to show versus tell. You got to do all that. But this is what I say. Break the rules. Rules are meant to be broken unless you're doing it against the law. But we're not going in that direction. You're not breaking any lawful rules. You're breaking rules of writing. Now, some are needed, some are not. You will determine that on your journey. You will determine what is best for you. You will determine what you want to follow and what you don't want to follow. Like I always say, take advice with a grain of salt. Because everybody experiences writing differently. Everybody experiences different things. You can't always take what one person says as gold versus another person. You got to determine your own path. You got to follow your own path in this industry. So that's all I have on that, because I'm not going to throw advice down your throat. This is just my opinion. All this is just opinion. You take with it what you want or you don't. But the very important thing, this next topic I'm going to talk about, is very crucial. Either when you start getting further into putting books out, or if you really just want a platform for yourself. So invest in your work. Invest in yourself. This includes editors, covers, website, logos, social media. Oh my God, it's 2023. Social media is the biggest point of getting any name out there at this point. Logos, there's several people out there that make logos. Website, you don't need to really pay for a website. You can use a website that may have limited things to start with, just so you have a place to put all your work. Covers are, woo! I'm going to skip covers for a second, because covers is near and dear to my heart. I love investing in covers. I just can't help it. So editors is a very, editing is a very sensitive topic. I don't believe if you're starting at first that you need to have an editor. Now, people will slam this down your throat. Oh, you need to have an editor. You have to have your work edited. Here's the thing. You can have 1,000 eyes on your work. There will always be a mistake. Somebody misses, or a few mistakes. And that's okay, because you know what? There are a lot of readers out there that are very forgiving. You give them a good story, they ignore some of the smaller, minor mistakes that you leave. Now, if you have a whole sentence that is Jabba, and that there's like words are backwards, that might be a little different. But the way I like to go about that, especially if you're just beginning, is that get people you trust. Hell, even if you have like a teacher friend or a friend who loves to read that knows a bit of grammar. You can even get Grammarly as an editor. There's probably 10,000 more editing programs out there. I haven't been out there in a while, so I don't know what is new, what is not, but I used to use Grammarly a lot, and there was one other one, and I can't think of it on the top of my head right now. But those programs actually really do help you, and I think they update them every time to make them more to the T. But if you're more, obviously, once you start getting more experience and you want to be more serious, then I would invest in an editor, obviously. But for a while, you might be a one-person team because all these things, you know, you have to have money for, and money doesn't grow on trees. We all know this. So, let's talk about events. Events, when you have a book or maybe two, I would say maybe three, but 2 books are pretty good too. There are a bunch of author events, especially in the indie world. A lot of indie authors are making their own events. You just have to look for them. And you'll find a lot of those on social media. And you just got to find the event that fits you. I did one event. I got, a banner and all that stuff. It was actually really fun. It's just I didn't do any more because I couldn't get my work out fast enough for me. That was a personal preference. I did not want to go to another one unless I had newer material out. But everybody's different. Now, covers. Whew. Covers. I love to invest more in covers, and I love in editing. And, I've had more than a few mistakes in my books, but nobody has ever rammed that down my throat. I've never had a reader tell me, I couldn't finish reading your work because of this and that. I've had somebody say they couldn't finish reading my work because my style was a little bit different than probably what they like, but you can't make everybody happy. You never will be, unfortunately. But there will be a group of readers that will love what you like to write about. But don't ever let that get you down. So I'm going to show you a few covers that these are actually all my covers. I didn't make them. All done by wonderful people. All done by different people. My favorite cover in the middle, I had to grab that as soon as I saw it. And I am the type of writer that I need a cover first so I can make the story blossom off of that cover. Like I said, everybody's different. But there's a theme to the covers, and there's always a catch. I do believe that people do judge a book by its cover. And also, me personally, when I go look for a new read, that first page has the first page, or at least the first paragraph, has to grasp me to want to more. So keep that in mind as well. Like when you're writing, make that beginning strong so people can come in and try to keep that same level all through the book. It's not always possible because we do get stuck. We do get frustrated. We, meaning I, tend to write myself in a hole. That's why I have not touched any of my work in a long time, because I have written myself in a corner so many times that it gets so frustrating, and you kind of just like, oh, it's never going to end, and I'm never going to get back to it, and I don't know how to fix it. These are just common things that happen with writers/authors. It's just a norm. Never feel bad about it. But like I say, these are covers that I've done. Yes, I have my name and stuff blocked. That's just my personal preference. But you can see I got females on all the covers. I love to write about strong females, but they are vulnerable, and sometimes their story is tragic, but there's always that, I'm knocked down, but I get back up type of thing. So covers are crucial. Editors are crucial. But it's just, again, personal preference of what you really want to invest in, especially in the early stage of your writing career. All right. Whew. That was a mouthful. Oh my God. Next. What do we have next? Okay. Whew. This is another big one. And this is why I do things my way and not what people want me to do. There comes a moment when you have to realize the story you're writing is for you. If you do not enjoy your own story, no one else will. Any arguments? No arguments. If you do not like what you're writing, I guarantee 100% that your readers are not going to enjoy it either. Because if you're bored with what you're writing, it's going to show in your writing. If you hate what you're writing, it's going to show in your writing. So please write like you're writing for yourself, because then you'll enjoy it more. Write how you want it. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to push boundaries. I have had to push boundaries in writing, and I have had to put warnings inside. Be like, look, I don't approve of what they're doing, but this is what needs to be in the story. It's a character thing. So do not be afraid to push boundaries. Do not be afraid to go outside the box, because somebody out there is going to love it and is going to relate to it. And one day they're going to say, thank you. Thank you for writing this. So don't ever be afraid to do that. Also, you got to stay committed. That's a big one. You have to stay committed. 100%. That is a problem I have. I am not always committed. I let a lot of things hold me back from doing what I need to do. And that, we'll get more into that in our closing points of this stream. So let's get to that. Number 1, never stress about the finish line. Unless you are with a small publishing house or a big publishing house, or, you queried and somebody picked up your book, then you're going to have to be a little bit stressed because you're going to have a deadline. But if you're an indie author, like most of us are, and we're not, obligated to anybody, don't stress about it because you're making your own schedule. You're going to get it done. Number 2, please, for love, please do not force it if it's not happening. If you are not in the mood, if you ain't feeling it, if your characters aren't talking to you, guess what? It's not going to happen. You can sit here and stare at the computer. The words ain't going to come out if you ain't feeling it. So please don't force it. Let it come to you. And this one, number 3. My biggest killer of all time is self-doubt. It's something we all have to learn, and just in life in general. Do not let self-doubt win. You have that, damn, I don't know what the word is. It doesn't matter. It'll come to me eventually. Don't you hate that when you have a word and you can't think of it? But either or, please do not let self-doubt win, because it'll be the killer of your writing. It'll be the killer of you. It'll be the killer of everything. So just find a way. I know it's hard because I still deal with it, but please find a way to get past it. Because you're doing more than what people say they are going to do. Everybody wants to say, I can write a blog, I can do this, but you're actually doing it. So you are one step higher than those who only talk about it and don't do it. So please, you got this. I believe in you. I don't believe in myself sometimes, but I believe in you. So you got this. And remember, another thing, and we're going to close it with this little meme, because I do find it hilarious, but now I have to find it because it didn't go where I wanted it to go. So, ta-da! I think we've all seen these before. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Maybe. If I don't mess this up. Ooh. Nope. Okay. We tried. Anyway, there it is. The whole, what my friends think I do, what my mom thinks I do, what society thinks I do, what others expect me to do, what I think I do, what we really do. And this, the what we really do is really what we do. I can sit here and I'll be like, yeah, I got a paragraph written. Oh, look, somebody posted something on social media. It's distractions happen. It's just part of the writer game. Yeah, like I said, don't force it. It'll come to you. Just do it for yourself. Just find your style, do all that good stuff, and you'll be all right. I'm going to move back a little bit. That sun is in my face. Let's have a sip of the smoothie. So that is all I have for you in my little advice with a little bit of personal things added to it. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you want more of these, please comment when you see the video, if you watch the video. And we'll see what other things we can talk about. My smoothie is more of a milk, like strawberry milk now. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you have a pleasant day, night, whatever, when you watch this video. And happy writing to all of you. And remember, I believe in you. And success is defined in many different ways. So don't stress about it. Just do it. All right. Have a great one. Bye. Also not always a guarantee, because then you have a saturated market. It's so congested with the same thing. Ooh! I made a mess. We'll clean it up in a minute. It's so congested with the same thing. You don't want to see that mess. You want to see the mess? Look. I made a mess with my smoothie. Uh-oh. There's no outtakes. This is it. This is me. Me doing a video for you. What was I saying? Oh, the market becomes very, very saturated.